I'm going to turn it over to Crispin at this point, and he's going to do an OFA review. Crispin, take it away.
Thanks, Joanne. Thank you very much. And I feel a bit, it's a tough act to follow. You know, you have these young people that are so enthused and going to do so much in the future. And then you got an old guy like me giving a report. But, you know, such is life. That's the circle of life. My name, as you know, as Joanne introduced me, Crispin Colvin, and I'm the director for the OFA Board of Directors. And I've been on the board for 5 years, 3 years as a director at large, and the last 2 years as the director for Lambton and Middlesex. As well, I'm also on the executive of the OFA this year. And I must say, I just want to touch quickly with the storm chaser. I was really pleased when he referred to the fossil fuel carbon dioxide issue. As a beef producer, it's nice to know that my cows are not the only factor and perhaps not the major factor in climate change. So it's nice to see some of the other factors that are impacting our climate and impacting agriculture demonstrated through that presentation. So what have we been focusing on at the OFA? So despite all the challenges, we continue to work with our membership, and we're focused on farm issues as they emerge. And we've created new ways to engage with our members under the current COVID restrictions. So we have been staying up to date on programs and funds and funding supports for the farm businesses. And we continue to lobby for additional supports throughout the pandemic. We've also been functioning as a major information hub and a resource center for our sector. In fact, other commodities have actually looked to the OFA for information, and we've been able to work together cooperatively on a number of various issues. We've also been pursuing a virtual process to organize a strategic visioning session for 2022 and beyond. And we've been partnering on fast-moving alliances, consultations, and responses to crisis situations, including storm damage in southern and eastern Ontario, and the multi-partner project Feeding Your Future, which supports the farm sector employment, mental health supports we've worked on, and importantly to our future, preserving farmland. We've also done a public consumer-focused awareness campaign aimed at educating the public on the negative impacts of urban sprawl. There's only one landscape in the country, there's only one landscape in Ontario, and we have to preserve that land for food. Minister zoning orders provincially override municipal planning, and they're used to develop farmland, wetlands, and they do this without consultation, without environmental assessments, and it takes food out of production. And this is something that we've been pushing back on quite a bit. I would encourage you to go to the Homegrown website and sign the petition to protect farmland. I've also been busy doing homegrown presentations to councils and other interested groups. And in fact, I'm doing one on September 1st to Lambton County Council. So I will see some of you there on the 1st. We've also, across the province, federations have been communicating and meeting with their local police forces on farm-related issues. And I believe the Lambton Federation has met with their local police at an event just before the COVID pandemic. And it's important to engage and keep the doors open with our police departments on trespass, food safety, road safety, and activist issues, and how these affect our membership. Bill 156, which is the Security from Trespass and Protecting Food Safety Act. Throughout that, it became clear that many of the police agencies simply didn't have a clear understanding of its intentions and the realities of farm security. And so when we meet with the police, we're able to demonstrate some of the challenges that we face and try to help them, and in turn, they help us. It's a win-win. In fact, on this one slide here, you can see there was $10,000 worth of crop damage caused by trespassing ATVs in York region. That's the type of thing that we want to work together with the police to try and prevent. The Feeding Your Future program is perhaps one of the few good things that came out of the COVID pandemic. It's an opportunity for members to find, train, and retain the workers they need for their farms and their agribusinesses. It comprises of free virtual career fairs, webinars, social media platforms, and training opportunities to help meet agriculture's labor needs. There's an Ontario Agriculture Worker Safety and Awareness Certificate program as well for employees that are new to the sector of agriculture. Another thing since COVID came along was that more people are now preparing meals at home, and it's actually becoming more of a family event. The 6x16 program is designed to encourage youth to make 6 nutritious and healthy meals by the time they're 16. And I've actually had adults say that they are following the 6x16 because they may be beyond 16, but they're happy to learn about 6 nutritious meals that they too can help to make. And part of that whole program is also selecting local produce as much as possible and supporting the local food and, by extension, the local agricultural community. This past year, we've seen virtual 4-H clubs take on the 6x16 projects. We've also created an always in season cookbook, and we've partnered with growing chefs on a virtual challenge and worked with Bell Media on TV and radio campaigns across the province. The Revive Fund that Brooke alluded to earlier in her presentation is a result of the creativity of the local federations and their commitment to share in the costs of this program. So we were able to disperse over $100,000 into local economies and increase the visibility of the federations and the work that they and their members do to the public. Locally, the Lambton Federation, as was mentioned earlier, helped to support the display at the London Children's Museum, which will be an interactive and educational program. Some of the key policy focus that we've been involved with, some of the major outcomes of our policy direction, of course, is to preserve farmland. That's the homegrown campaign. And it's gathered a lot of attention from both members and the public and key organizations. And we've had significant support and input with our Policy Advisory Council on this as well. We'll also be involved in the federal election, and the priorities that we've identified in the federal election, and I expect all our candidates will be taking notes on this one, are the environment and sustainability, carbon pricing, labor strategies, and business risk management programs. Those will be the key priorities that we see in the coming years. As well, we have the next agricultural policy framework, and we're looking for grassroots input to lobby for future programs that you see as important to supporting agriculture in our area. We've also been involved heavily on the mental health advocacy as a result of our partnership with the Canadian Mental Health Association, Ontario. And we are offering the In the Know program, which has sessions launching in key areas in August this month. And we've been able to sponsor awareness campaigns, workshops, and webinars to increase the profile of this important work during this stressful time. One recent campaign has been using our content on Spotify and YouTube to share with different audiences on a variety of platforms. And of course, we're going to be emphasizing and lobbying for exemptions to clean fuel standards and the carbon tax as they relate to agriculture. The OFA's annual general meeting is again going to be, due to the pandemic, virtual. There'll be zone director elections in Prescott, Russell, Glengarry, and here in Perth, and there's an at-large election will be held at the annual general meeting. Agriculture Minister Lisa Thompson and Premier Doug Ford have been invited to speak, and as always, resolutions will be debated and voted upon. So looking forward to getting back to being in person, as all of us are, we're looking forward to meeting our members at farm shows. But as I say, we're going to continue to focus and reach out to our MPs and MPPs on a number of issues, not simply the ones that are on the slide here, but I want to emphasize mental health, food literacy, and preserving our farmland. We're also investing in a major public trust campaign to help educate Canadian and Ontario consumers, particularly, on agriculture and how our farmers work hard to provide a safe, sustainable food for all of Ontario and Canada. In fact, Canada is one of only 8 countries in the world that is self-sustainable in food. All others rely on some level of import. So it's important that we preserve our land. So I want to thank you to the local federation for being leaders in agriculture and the voice of farming in your communities. I also want to thank the people who are going to let their names stand for policy advisory council positions and delegate positions. We need to work together to support the agriculture in our communities and our agri-food businesses. Lambton Federation is a very active and fun group to be a part of. I urge anyone who has even a limited amount of time to consider joining the board. It's a really great board to be a part of, and I'm really proud to be the director who can go to the OFA board and represent Lambton County and Lambton farmers. Thank you very much. And Joanne, back to you.
Thanks, Crispin. Thanks for your presentation. And I think we'll leave any questions till the end for you. And I'll just go through. Oh, there's a chat there. Well done, Crispin. You are a terrific ambassador for our county. So thank you, Alan. Well said.
Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that.